It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins. And it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 23.
From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Miami Dolphins. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Miami. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They'll be led out by Deshaun Watson. Of course, he won a national title at Clemson and already has 3 Pro Bowls under his belt in the National Football League.
And he's exactly the man you want in control of your offense. Excellent arm, good zip on the ball, not afraid to use his legs when he needs to. And what he's excelled at doing is making plays when the first read isn't available or when the pressure's about to get to him.
Looking to throw right away is Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slows momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. They'll go screen here to Hunt. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Buried behind the line by Christian Wilkins. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Watson eluding the pressure right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. And they'll lead the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Now it's Watson. And that is incomplete.
That was a nice job defensively disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
Tua and the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it facing a 2nd and long situation. Tua going to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Meanwhile, Tua's throw is taken in by Waddle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. From midfield, here's Tua. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to pass. Tua. Got a man. It's Waddle complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
But we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence. Supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Setting to throw on 1st down is Tua. And this is taken in at the 5. Then he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 33 yards that time. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. Here's Tua. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Dolphins post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this second quarter.
There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead, put it on him, and score a touchdown.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it was finished off by a Jalen Waddle touchdown. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Grant, he will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. And with just under a minute to go, they might try to think about mounting a drive here if they can and get in the end zone. Could potentially tie this game up. Now a first down throw, Watson. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Watson. Buying time to his left. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And the Dolphins have got it. Had some good yardage there, too, before he fumbled that football, Charles.
Yeah, just think about it this way. Running backs, as a general rule, they kind of know when the end of a run is near, and you notice how they cover up, right? They protect the football. Sometimes quarterbacks forget that out in the open field. After a while, you start to wonder, does the running back coach visit the quarterback coach and say, hey, I can help you with this. We can protect this and make sure we keep the ball.
Let's go. Ready?
Following the fumble recovery, here's Tua. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
On the set.
Tua now on first down. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. It's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. 23 yards, the final tally.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Here's Mostert, and he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Raheem Mostert taking it in from a yard out. And the Dolphins will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. CD for them. This has just been an offensive explosion here in the second quarter.
Yeah, no scoreless in the first quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the second. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
Sanders on for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Raheem Mostert. touchdown. Ready to kick it away is Sanders. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Well, the Browns going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. He'll get this to Bell. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. To the air yet again, Watson. And he coughed it up. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last two, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Tua now on first down. He's going to let this one go deep. And this one is incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
So the two teams will head to the locker rooms here in Miami with the Dolphins on top. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Browns. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they had a little more success than their counterparts did in the passing game, as evidenced by the numbers there. Both teams likely making their final adjustments before the second half. So, time for us to go back downstate to Miami and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Dolphins getting set to go back to work here in quarter number 3. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have their control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Tagovailoa going to try and throw on 3rd down. Over the middle and complete to Waddle. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
Ready.
They'll try it now with Mostert. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
So the 4th down conversion has him inside the 40 now, 1st and 10. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. A CD that helps the home team as they try to erase this deficit. Give them the penalty for pass interference on the defense.
Yeah, and they certainly haven't been happy with it.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Raheem Mostert. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will be a touchback as Grant opts not to return it. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. 36 yards on the play. And that's going to do it. Clock hits zeros. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Watson. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Flushed it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Christian Wilkins picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be, trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
I wonder what was going through his mind because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long. They're going to look to throw. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable 4th quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery. Let's go. 3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Ready. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you can do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy, let him pick up the 1st down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Now it's 2nd and 9. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
I really like what he did there because he took his practice work and converted it to game action because he used his hands, got off the block, worked laterally and stayed to the outside, and finished off the runner for a loss.
They're going to try the jet sweep on 3rd and long. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Center's kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. After that last sequence, they're sitting pretty comfortably. They force the fumble, get the field goal, and expand on that lead here in the second half.
And don't expect them to rest on their laurels after that kick either. They'll keep their effort up until the final whistle. They don't consider any lead safe.
This fielded right at the goal line. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Holding, receiving team.
So already not the best of kick returns there, but that penalty, that adds insult to injury and backs him up even closer to the goal line.
Yeah, not ideal field position to begin a drive, is it? Because the extra pressure now goes on the offense. They've got to get some early yards and get away from the shadow of their own goalposts. What every offense wants to do in this situation, get 2 first downs to help out with field position at the least.
They go with Chubb on second down. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Watson on third down. They'll go screen here to Hunt. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Just all around a solid performance, and now they've got the 3-score lead here, Charles. So the final seconds of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, in this one, they've been in control, haven't they? They've earned this victory. No question who the better team was out there in this game. And frankly, the score could have been a lot worse than it was. Give them a lot of credit for how they played in this one.
So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
But they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field, so you got to like what you saw. What do they call that, a total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.